Todd, Mark Letestu is one of those guys that has produced, but I don't know that he has a home just yet in your lines or your configurations. Do you know exactly what you're going to do with him other than to say that he's definitely going to play for you this year? Do you know what I mean?
Mark gives you the flexibility of, as a coach, and just moving him around. Power play, playing the point, center, right wing. To me, he can play up, and I'm talking top two lines because he's proven that he can produce. And to me, that's what he really provides. And you always want that competition for ice time, and Mark pushes other players. I know he does that. But I guess to answer your question, no, I don't. I don't have anything planned. I don't have an outlook for him of where he's going to be here, or here. These next 2 weeks or so of games will really dictate a lot of things. Because as you saw in the third period, or even probably halfway through the game, second and third, I moved Cam up on the left side to play with Anisimov and Gabrick, just to try something a little bit different. I liked it. But we're going to have some opportunities to try other guys there too.
Coach, your overall observations of the start, what you liked, anything jump out at you?
Well, there were some things that jumped out at me, absolutely. I think the one thing was I was disappointed with our intensity. I thought we got outworked, outcompeted. I thought our third period was good, especially after the two fights. To me, it brought the intensity up, and it showed to me, the difference. Pittsburgh has won. They've won. They know what it takes to win. And to me, I don't think we were nearly as focused as we needed to be, or as intense as we needed to be. I think third period we were much better, but the second period, we weren't good. We were sloppy. We were getting outworked. We were getting out-battled, out-competed, whatever adjective you really want to use to describe that. So that was kind of the big thing. There were some things that we did systematically. There were some players that I thought Curtis McElhaney was great. I guess it goes back a little bit to our season last year. Great goaltending, but we can't rely and put that much pressure on our goalies. And I know it's game one of exhibition. We got 7 more, and then we got 82 games. There's a long road ahead of us. I understand that, but we gotta, come Tuesday, both here and in Minnesota, we got to be ready at the drop of the puck.
By his own admission, Wisniewski's been a little more on the responsible, mature side with his play, not over the edge, as Wisniewski seemed to be a little bit more earlier in his career. He's talked about being a little bit more physical, a little bit harder to play against, a little more on the edge. Would you welcome that? Does he need to get back to the guy that he was that sort of brought him here in the first place?
Intensity brings out the best in everyone. It doesn't matter what type of player you are. It doesn't matter really what sport you're playing. If you're intense at what you're doing, to me, you're more focused, and your play is more deliberate. And I agree with Wiz. He's a type of player that can make plays. He sees the ice well. He has a good knack for making a good first pass coming out of the zone. But you got to let those plays come to you. You can't force plays. And I think, in the past, maybe sometimes what's caught him is just forcing pucks, which ended up resulting in turnovers. But to me, when he's playing his best hockey, the plays come to him. He's still going to have 2-3 plays in a game where you sit back and you're like, wow, that was a great play, because that's what he can do. But it's just letting those plays come to you and not forcing it.
Did you like him fighting?
I loved it. Again, when I think of James Wisniewski and what kind of made him the player he is that edge, and playing on the edge with that intensity. And he showed me a lot tonight. He's not a guy you want to. He's not heavyweight category, but he showed me tonight that he can handle his own. And again, to me, it's just the intensity, and I think what that did too. When I look back at the game, and I talked about how flat and slow we were, for 2 periods watching them skate. I think Millard's fight, and I thought Wiz's fight brought the intensity and the emotion out of our team, and we were much better after that.
Going on that with the intensity, they seemed as the game wore on, it, especially in that third period, maybe late second and starting in the third period, it appeared to be more like a regular season game. It didn't seem like a first preseason game the way the guys were, both teams were chippy. Did it appear that way to you?
I liked it. It brought out some intensity, and again, we want rivalry, and best way is to get it started early, and it was like that. I think there was a couple of times they didn't like that Malkin got hit, and it got the intensity in the game, and I think it brought his play up too. You could see him get more into the game, and I think their team got more into it, and maybe that backed us off a little bit, just their speed and how they were playing. But I love it that you can get that intensity.
Want to get your thoughts on Ryan Murray's play. Obviously, the goal is what stands out, but how did you think he played over the whole 3 periods?
Ryan made a great play at the end. RJ made a great play, but Ryan got up the ice, and I think like any young player, he'll go back and look at his game, and as coaches will go back and look at his game, and there's a lot to improve on, but there's still a lot to be really excited about with Ryan. There really is. To me, when you watch him play, there's a calmness to his game. And this was his first game. I mean, he's playing against men now. And he's playing guys that are big and they're strong and they can skate. And I think at times his nerves got the better of him too. Because I've watched him in practice. He handles the puck extremely well. He's a good passer, sees the ice well. And to me, in this game, I saw some uncharacteristic things out of him. But there still were some really good things that we saw. And again, like a lot of our guys, I think getting the rust off, a lot of our new guys getting their feet wet for the first time, this is a big step for them, these young players. So there's a lot to be excited about with Ryan.
Did you evaluate the play of the local kid, Trent Vogelhuber, tonight?
I thought Trent was fine. I really did. I did not mind his game. I thought he played hard. It's not easy when you're playing in front of your friends and your family, and playing against the Pittsburgh Penguins for the first time. But I thought he did. I thought he did a good job.
5-4 overtime win, though. With everything, feels good to get the first one. Yes,
it does. And I don't want this to be completely negative. As I told the guys, there's a lot that we need to learn from this game. The thing I liked is the guys stuck with it, and we found a way to win. Bottom line, we found a way to win the game. We still have a lot of work ahead of us to improve as a group, but a win is a win, and I know it's exhibition, but 2 weeks from now it's, you're looking for ways to build confidence in your group, and last year, wins were tough to come by, and I think when we started to win, you could see the confidence grow in our group. So, I don't want to sit up here and talk about this, and this. I mean, we did win the game. We have to get better. We have to grow, but we found a way to win.
You played a lot of your
Oh, sorry. Well, with that said, that kind of directs to where this team is. The expectations have changed, correct?
Absolutely. I mean, I expect, each and every night for us to play a hard game. And again, I think that was our identity last year. That was our foundation. I mean, I had coaches coming up after games and heard it from players that we play against that they didn't like playing against us, and I mean that has to be our foundation. That has to be our identity. We have to get back to that, and I think that's what the fans here really appreciate. It was fun hockey to watch because you knew each and every night when you showed up, the guys were going to compete. We might not win the game because that's hockey, that's sports, but you knew you were going to get an honest effort every night.
You played a lot of your regular forwards tonight, and you've talked about why you're doing this. Is part of it, though, a desire to develop some sort of offensive confidence? Like, you got to score more goals. There's going to be opportunities in exhibition games if you load up like that to score. Do you want to foster that with your players? Is that part of it at all?
Truly my first intention, my main intention was to get our guys work. So we're ready. You would like to build off certain things. It gives us opportunities to try different combinations. And you would think that if you're playing maybe an NHL heavy roster versus maybe a roster that's not as heavy, that you should have more success. But you don't want it to work the other way either, that you're getting outworked by these guys and you aren't producing, because to me that can turn it into a negative. And that gets back again to my expectation of us working. And again, we can't expect to come drop at the puck October 4th that we're just going to pick up where we left off last season. It's not going to happen like that. So again, we got to prepare every day in practice and prepare every day in these exhibition games that we're getting ready for October 4th. And again, we got to get back to our identity and our foundation.